Hello, everybody. Welcome to our presentation on our research study, the impact of sleep quantity on academic performance. So we all know the importance of sleep and for our health, and there's been many studies done that link poor academic performance with low sleep quality. The amount of time we spend sleeping has a significant impact on the health and well-being of individuals. So our study sought to examine the relationship between sleep quantity and GPA. So what we did is we collected data on sleep habits, GPA, and various demographic variables. And our research study did not find a statistically significant association between sleep and GPA. Next slide. So we collected various studies in our literature review on sleep quality, quantity, sleep deprivation, sleep habits, and other aspects of sleep variability and its effects on our lives. So sleep quality and quantity negatively impacted academic performances. Students with inconsistent sleep habits did worse on exams and had lower average GPAs, and also that sleep variability associated with lower happiness and lower GPA by the end of semester for students, and also higher levels of anxiety. Next slide. So the purpose and rationale of our study, we sought to further the findings showing correlations between sleep quantity and academic performance, specifically in regards to the college student demographic. And previous research has shown a relationship between sleep quantity and academic performance. Next slide. So our hypothesis was that sleep quantity will be significantly correlated with academic performance, and we predict that sleep quantity will have a strong correlation with academic performance.
So for our methods section, we had around 79 participants in total, and they were all collected through SONA, and they all attended Idaho State University. Demographics range from biological sex, gender, ethnicity, and class level. For our materials section, we use the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, also known as PSQI. We use academic GPA, and we created survey questions. For our procedure, surveys were distributed throughout SONA, and participants had to click on the link, consent to the study, and then answer the questions. All data was then put into an Excel spreadsheet, and then using JASP, we were able to run frequencies and percentages for the demographic information. Next slide.
For our results portion, the first thing we did was run a Pearson's correlation test on the two variables we wanted to find correlation between. So sleep quantity measured by hours of sleep and academic performance calculated in GPA. And we found an R correlation value of 0.094. We had a P value of 0.4, so not significant. And we had a degree of freedom of 78, which is a result of having 79 participants minus our one independent variable. As you can see by the 0.4 p-value, our results were not significant enough to establish that a poor sleep quantity impacts academic performance. Next slide. Thank you. As you can see by the graph, most students still had what is considered a good academic performance, regardless of having a lowered sleep quantity. Next slide.
Okay, so our results do not confirm our hypothesis. Unlike previous studies, we found that sleep quantity does not have a negative impact on academic performance. The correlation is not significant. These results mean that there is now a rebuttal to other studies that have been proven sleep duration has a negative impact on academic performance. These results impact the theory of that sleep could possibly not affect academic performance, even though other studies have proven it. Our study also gives information on the subject, but receives different results. These results can be applied educationally by giving them the opposite side of information. This can expand the knowledge on the subject. This can also be applied personally by showing people their sleep patterns. Even though our results were not significant, this was a personal questionnaire, and it could have opened the participants' eyes on their sleeping patterns. Some limitations we encountered was, one, our participants. The participants were mainly freshmen taking an introduction to psychology class, so they were not completely random. A second limitation is time. The time of year could distort the results. A certain semester could be harder than another, so you do not get as much sleep as compared to a different semester that is easier and you get more sleep. So what about the future? One idea for future research is to control sleep duration and then measure their performance. You should have multiple groups, and those groups get different amounts of sleep and then take an exam or some sort of academic test. Another idea is to measure the effects on different classes. Again, you would control the sleep duration and then give the different groups exams on various subjects. The ideas for future research are limitless. So in conclusion, our research question was, will sleep quantity have a significantly negative relationship with academic performance? The variables we tested were sleep quantity and academic performance. And we found that there was not a significant difference and the correlation was very weak. From this study, we did not find support that lack of sleep causes bad grades.